Yeah, looks pretty safe. I think that means it's working. If this looks unfamiliar to you, you might be thinking someone did a war crime on a laptop. Not quite. This is an eGPU dock from PELADN. The PCI hole kinda gives it away, but there's also a slot for an NVMe, ATX and CPU power connectors, SD card reader, and over here, 2.5 gig Ethernet. And it's all connected with this, an 80 gigabit Thunder Noodle. So I should probably point out, this is a Thunderbolt 5 dock. And that's why PELADN sent over a mini PC with USB4 to test with. Right. It also works with USB4, just at
half the speed.
And that's fitting since this W04 is missing half the RAM. Bit of a struggle PC, this one. It is 16 gigs of DDR5, and there's a Ryzen 5 7640HS with 6 cores and 12 threads, hiding along with 760M graphics. In this area. And since we're running Linux, there's no guarantee this is going to work, even a little bit. So let's get a power supply installed, feed it a GPU, and see what happens. So you get a bag of goodies with a dangly bit and a couple of screws, and we need those for the power supply that goes right about here. Lock it into the base with a screw and one more up top to attach that dangly bit. Pop in the ATX connector with a bit of CPU power, and look at that. Now, you could do this with a modular power supply, but it wouldn't look as cool. So let's plug it in and interrogate this USB 4 port and its Docky cohort. Well, this mini PC is using AMD's Pink Sardine USB 4 controller, and that means it's not Thunderbolt certified. But hey, we get a PCI Express tunnel to play with. Let's take a peek at the lanes. Alright, that's 2 lanes at 20 gigabits per second, giving us 40 gigabits a second to play with. Right on. GPU time. I'm going to be using my vintage 2060 for 3 reasons. 1, it's PCIe Gen 3, so we can test backwards compatibility. 2, 4 lanes of Gen 3 isn't going to bottleneck our 40 gigabit connection. And 3, for around $100, you get DLSS, ray tracing, NVEncode, and CUDA. That's a good value for a struggle build. I'll also be using this Sporkle A310 to see if the dock plays nice with PCI Express Gen 4, and to use this card for its intended purpose, an add-in AV1 encoder. I'm not even joking. The vast, overwhelming majority of these cards have never been connected to a monitor. And we'll try it out in OBS. Now in a perfect world, I'd pop this in and done. But we're on Linux, so I'll probably have to fiddle a little bit. Yeah, I'm just playing with you. It picks right up. AMD on the right and NVIDIA on the left. Let's crack open Blender Bench and look at that. There's the APU up top and the 2060 right below. And check that out, 99% GPU utilization. Nice. Oh, did I mention this thing idles at like 9 watts? And if you're thinking an old 2060 over a 40 gigabit connection isn't much of an upgrade, let's have a look at Shadow of the Tomb Raider running on the medium preset at 1080p. Integrated AMD 760M on the left and the NVIDIA 2060 on the right. The 760M struggles to reach 30 FPS throughout most of the benchmark, and that's no surprise. It's really better suited for 720p. But the 2060 is happily hanging out around 90-ish FPS. And while I'm no mathma chicken, that's a 200% performance bump. Now, if you're playing games, you might want to capture the moment or even stream that nonsense to unsuspecting victims. So let's crack open OBS for a quick check, and yeah, NVEncode's ready to go. And if you plan on editing that business, you can put those CUDA cores to use with the Davinci Resolve. This 2060 is my old editing card, and for 1080p and the occasional 4K, it got that job done. Look at that donut wiggle. All the audio bits are working, and you get accelerated encode plus decode for H.264 and HEVC. Love it. Out of morbid curiosity, I compiled Llama with CUDA support to run a wee little model. Let's tap the go button, and yeah, 109 tokens per second, that's workable. Now how about round 2? Oh, look at it go. What did we end up with? 110. I can live with that. Up next is our AV1 video card. that we're totally going to do regular ordinary video card things with. No, we're not. Back in OBS to select VAPI AV1, make sure the DG2 is selected, and let's pretend the record button says like, and smash it. Also maybe leave me a like. But yeah, Intel GPU Top shows the little A310 plugging away at the encode. Calling that a win. Since we're playing with OBS, now's a good time to talk about capture cards. Not this one. It does quad 4K 60, and that would choke our 40 gigabit connection. But its little brother shouldn't have any issues. And it doesn't. Popped right up after installing the drivers, and we got everything from real 4K to a retro gaming enthusiast. I'm capturing a bit of YouTube, and that's me in the corner, down there. Hello, past Vin. But the Decklink card is humming along without issue. Love to see it. Now let's try something you don't see every day. This is a Magewell 11100 Pro quad 1080p, but designed to run 24/7. With a fan that knows only one speed. Pain. Like the Blackmagic card, it popped right up after installing the drivers, and we have access to 4 capture sources, along with a gang of resolutions. No problem sucking in those 1080p pixels from the other PC playing the YouTubes. And I should probably plug our Trackmania 2 live streams that we do every Tuesday and Friday right here on YouTube at TM2C, but that would be borderline shameless self-promotion, so I'll pass on that. You know, technically this is an NVIDIA card, but I prefer its maiden name, Mellanox. This is a ConnectX-3 10GB, and fiber goodness shouldn't be a problem. And old Docky seems to agree. What about bidirectional? Ha! Doesn't even blink. Good job. However, the 2.5 gig ether hole built into the dock, it does okay on the send and receive with 2.7 and 2.3, but chokes up during the bidirectional test. And we might as well pop a drive in the NVMe containment unit and see how tragic that one lane of Gen 3 is. That's about what I was expecting. No point in putting anything fast in there. And just for comparison, here's the same drive in the W04, putting up some actual number digits. No joke, one of the most common questions I get is how do I connect a FireWire card to a laptop or a mini PC? Now why is that? These guys, FireWire audio interfaces. You get a jog wheel, control surface, dual headphones, dual combo preamp, hardware MIDI, $50. Let's see if we can make some people happy. Yes, we can. And that's because FireWire is plug and play on Linux. Toss it in Pro mode and head over to QPGraph, and there it is. We got our inputs, outputs, and MIDI all ready to go. Moving on to the polar opposite of plug and play, professional sound cards. I was going to try my AIO Pro, but I'm kind of using it right now to record this. So let's try this critter. You radio old timers will know this brand. 2 input, 4 output over analog and digital, along with a mic preamp. Aw, Pipewire, bless its heart. It doesn't really know what this is. What does the graph look like? It's showing 2 in and 4 out, but let's crack open the real control panel. And yeah, there you go. You can kind of get an idea of what's going on under the hood. But hey, it is working. And before I forget, boop. I don't have any wicked fast SD cards, so the win condition here is working. And behold, my attempts at photography. Listen, I'm not good at it, but I do try. You know what? First off, I want to thank PELADN for sending over the kit because they're fully aware that I'm going to do things like feed a FireWire card to the eGPU dock, and they're cool with it. Good on them. That said, this W04, it's a struggle PC. No way around it. You get a stick of DDR5. In this case, it's plasticky plastic. But you do get a 1TB Gen 4 NVMe, and I didn't have any issues with a 2.5 or 1 gig Ethernet. Plus, we know the USB4 port makes with it working. And the Ryzen 7640HS, it's borderline overkill for basic desktop use. Also, it's not shouty under load. Big fan of that. But what about the dock? Well, it's not going anywhere. This critter clocks in at 1100 grams, or 3.3 bottles of Orbits, and we confirmed that it's legit Intel Thunderbolt 5 And even over a 40 gigabit connection with a Linux difficulty multiplier, it got the job done. Just keep in mind, at 40 gigabits, this 2060 can saturate the pipe. But it worked great with the capture cards, Bizarro audio equipment, FireWire, and 10 gig fiber. Oh, and it doesn't blink. No RGB nonsense. That's a feature. But if you're like me and wanted to know if this wacky moon tech worked on Linux, well, I hope I was able to answer at least one or some of your questions. If not, let me know down in the comments. Always happy to help out. And maybe leave old Ben a like on your way down. It really helps my little channel. But that's gonna do it for this one. So you know I want you to get out there and make something awesome.